Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get into the first topic of the week, as this is probably the most important topic and the biggest topic, and that is going to be supposedly, mod check, the death of Twitch. The downfall of Twitch, whatever you want to call it. Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of drama has been coming about. Now, in this episode of the podcast, I'm not really going to delve too much into the drama aspect because honestly, there's a mixture of drama and legitimate trauma and like horrible things happening to certain people on the platform and all that bullshit. I'm not going to dive into that here. The main thing that I wanted to talk about regarding the death of Twitch is how Twitch is stacking up against YouTube, talking about the gambling streams, the sexual content that is taking place on Twitch, and discussing what's the biggest problems on Twitch, what aren't necessarily the biggest problems on Twitch. So the biggest thing that's been coming about for the death of Twitch is a recent article that got posted from Twitch themselves saying that they are going to reduce the partner contracts from being 70-30 to 50-50. Now, of course, a very small number of content creators even received a 70-30 split in general. Most of us are sitting here on a 50-50 split. This has come out and has angered a lot of people, rightfully so, but I also feel like low-key it's a little misguided, and a lot of people are saying, oh, this is why everybody's leaving Twitch for YouTube. This is why YouTube's going to take over, all that. Now, my personal opinion is that, yes, I do believe YouTube will take over at some point. However, I don't think now is that point. And even regarding all the bad shit that Twitch has done, I still think that YouTube is an inferior live streaming service to Twitch in pretty much every single way. Let's talk about that 70-30 split real quick, because fact of the matter is that a fraction of streamers would ever even receive that 70-30 split. Honestly speaking, even if you met the requirements for a 70-30 split, which it's been long rumored, long talked about, that it would be 500 concurrent subscribers, and this does not include Twitch Primes or gifted subs. It needs to be 500 individuals that are subscribing to you concurrently for like a few months before they would offer you, or before you could be able to negotiate a 70-30 contract. Now, I myself have at one point averaged over 500 unique subscribers here on Twitch. I have had friends that have surpassed that as well, and none of them were ever offered that 70-30 split, even if they initiated that conversation. So this leads me to believe that the only people that were receiving 70-30 splits or something better or whatever were people that were like on such a high level to where they were like the top 0.0001%. I think that's the type of people that were getting like the 70-30 split are probably streamers that are like probably a few hundred in size. And for context here, I believe there's like hundreds of thousands of streamers every month on Twitch itself. So out of hundreds of thousands, only a few hundred people are even receiving this contract. That's one thing. But I think one of the biggest problems with this entire contract situation is the fact that after a streamer makes their first $100,000 through subs alone, this is only counting the subscriber gains for, financially. Once they surpass $100,000, then their 70-30 contract gets dropped to a 50-50. And that is actually troubling, not for the top tier streamers that are going to be just fine and rich or whatever. I mean, they are losing a substantial amount of money, but I mean, a lot of these dudes they're making so much money. If you're the type of dude that can make 100K off of just purely subs alone, I mean, this is not even counting in donations. You're probably also monetizing yourself on platforms like YouTube. You're probably making some sort of merch as well. And not to mention brand deals, which are crazy amounts of money for these higher tier streamers. They'll be just fine, but it's probably going to spit in a lot of their faces. And the problem is that if all of these bigger streamers end up leaving Twitch, this leaves Twitch in a horrible position, because Twitch is probably the most top heavy platform, period. Meaning that the top tier streamers, the top 1%, account for so much of the watch time hours and so much of the revenue generated by Twitch that if these people are displeased and start going off of Twitch, like onto YouTube or even using sites like Patreon or whatever, that is going to be a big blow to Twitch. And I don't think Twitch can really survive that. Another thing about that 70-30 split is that people are really, really upset that the 70-30 split is gone entirely. So if you're a new up and coming streamer, you're not eligible for that 70-30 split. They're just never going to give it to anybody ever again. Now, again, I just have to reiterate this. I don't think this is that big of a deal simply because it's not that big of a deal to the small fry, to the people like me, to the people like you that may be starting streaming, because the fact of the matter is that none of us would ever realistically hit those numbers. Even as somebody myself who has a sizable audience on Twitch, even I sort of always thought that the 70-30 split was more of a pipe dream than anything else. I did not think it was a realistic goal to attain. And I always wanted to diversify my income or monetize my income in other ways via brand deals or merch or anything like that. Because truthfully speaking, if your revenue sources, if the majority of your revenue sources is coming off the back of viewer generosity, in a sense, you're setting yourself up for failure, straight up and honest. Because the fact of the matter is, especially if you're a small to mid-sized streamer, the fact of the matter is some days, you know what I'm saying, people might shower you with subs, might shower you with donations. Some days you're doing excellent for yourself. I've had moments where I could not, like, I would be streaming, every single day getting, 50 gifted, 100 gifted, 200 gifted, all this. And I'm like, oh my God. Oh shit. I woke up feeling XQC for real. Oh my God. I feel like, I'm really him. And then the next month happens and then you get sub decay. And sub decay essentially means that all those gifted subs you got from that last month, well, they running up now. And now you out here looking like you barely qualifying for affiliate. And now, of course, this is spanning all across this is all over your mind now. You're like, damn, am I a failure? Is my content getting worse? Blah, blah. You really do not want to have the majority of your income coming from subscribers or your audience. You really want to make sure you can get as much income as you possibly can off of other means. And one of the ways that Twitch is allowing you to do this now is with the ad incentive program. Oh my God, the ad incentive program. This is a whole other big ass issue with Twitch. And I feel like I have an interesting take on it. So, first and foremost, ads on Twitch are terrible. Ones in chat if you agree, claps in chat if you agree. Let me get I hate my life in the comment section if you agree. Yes, the way that ads are integrated onto Twitch are horrible and they take so much away from the content that it's frustrating, because ads being served on a platform like YouTube is much different than it being served on a platform like Twitch. Because when you're watching whatever video you're watching on YouTube, the ad plays, you're like, dang, okay, let me just skip this real quick. 5-second ad, 10-second ad. I can just hit the skip button after 5 seconds anyways. And then after all that is said and done, your video picks up right where it left off. No big deal. However, on Twitch, you might tune into your favorite streamer, twitch.tv/OmegaPro, and he's going on a rant about how holding hands is more sus than sucking dick. And right before he gets to the climax, right before he gets to the best moment, the crux of the argument, all of a sudden, you get an ad. Lily Pichu pops up on your screen. Well, I guess not no more. She's on YouTube, right? Lily Pichu used to pop up on your screen trying to sell you a Coke bottle while your favorite streamer, OmegaPro, is about to tell you why you shouldn't hold hands. Because it's sus, and that sucks. But ads are a necessary evil, especially on a video-based platform like Twitch, like YouTube. This is how they're going to retain most of their money. This is how they're going to turn a profit. And it sucks because the ads are really where Twitch should be focusing their attention on, but then they do a weird move by taking money away from the creators' subs, wherein they're not even making that much money off of that at all. Like the amount they would make off of like XQC's channel and how many subs he brings in is negligible, and it's not enough to be able to run a site like Twitch, just point blank and period. So they have to find other ways to bring in that revenue, and ads are the answer. So the way that they're trying to do this now is because before, nobody on Twitch would ever run ads because of the fact that Twitch streamers never made shit off of ads. I can tell you this. Let's just say, for example, I'm just going to throw random numbers out there. let's say I made $3,000 off of subs on Twitch. That's a great amount. You're doing pretty well for yourself. 3 racks a month for streaming on Twitch. I think most people would be very happy with that. Guess how much of that came from ads? This is before the ad incentive program, of course. Before, I would probably make a couple $100 at $3,000 of my income, potentially like $200 to $300. A lot of times less than $200 is what the ads would be paying me. So nobody would ever run fucking ads because it's fucking dumb. Why the hell are you going to interrupt your viewers' viewing experience to run some ads that you're not going to get anything for? So that's what every streamer did. And then Twitch is like, hey, this shit is not sustainable. We need to start making more bans. We got to get these streamers to start running ads. So they launched the ad incentive program. Now, what most people don't know is that before the ad incentive program even went live, Twitch kind of beta tested this with another promotion that they were running. And this was, I believe it was last year, throughout the year of 2021 through November, December, and maybe January, maybe. I don't really remember, but they reached out to streamers and were like, hey, we're willing to pay you like 2.5 times your ad rate if you run like 3 minutes of ads an hour. And at the time I was like, okay, so I'm only making like $200 off of my ads every month, but 2.5 times, I'm like, what, $500 to run 3 minutes of ads? That doesn't sound too bad. Would you guys turn down an extra $500 in your paycheck every month? I highly doubt it. So I was tapped in. I was like, okay, cool, I'll do that. That seems very reasonable. And then, that whole thing went away. And then a few months later, they announced the ad incentive program. And shout out to the viewers on Twitch. They're now spamming because they just got an ad as I get into this. On the ad incentive program, what's happening is that Twitch is doing something similar, except they're offering you a flat rate to run a specific number of ads on your stream. This can go anywhere from 3 minutes of ads to 10 minutes of ads an hour. And some people have gotten some really insulting offers. I have streamer acquaintances of mine that get very similar viewership to me, and they've been offered $60 to run 3 minutes worth of ads. Pretty fucking insulting. Now, I don't exactly know what the metrics or analytics behind these numbers are, but for me, as a small streamer, the amounts that they're offering me to run these ads would double my net pay. So I'm looking at this now. Okay, as a streamer, I understand the frustration of ads, and I think ads served on Twitch are terrible, but they're offering to double my monthly take home to run ads. So I started running ads, and I've done the ad incentive program. And what I have found for my channel size, I average somewhere in the ballpark of 300 to 400 viewers concurrently. Sometimes it's more than that, or if it's later, I'm playing a game nobody really gives a fuck about. Sometimes it'll be a little bit less than that, but that's around the ballpark, 300 to 400. So off of that income, like that's enough to sustain myself. But now I'm getting double. Now this is like, okay, now this is like a real substantial increase, and I can make a lot of positive changes in my life, and I can do a lot of great things. And I have been. This ad incentive program has helped me out immensely. And luckily I have the best viewer base on the fucking platform. And, the people that watch me understand that this is something that I can't really turn down, and they support that. And I'm very lucky and grateful to have that. But that doesn't really change the fact that if a new viewer were to find my stream, a new viewer that knows nothing about me, and they get fucking like 12 billion ads, of course, like they're going to leave. Why wouldn't you? You know what I mean? So that's a whole other thing that people have to balance. And the amount of ads that Twitch wants you to run are pretty egregious. Now, if you are a higher tier streamer, I don't even know what your incentives are looking like, but you could probably go with, denying that and not having to run that. And then there are streamers that have said that if Twitch forces them to run ads, they will leave. Jerma being one of them. Jerma is one of the, most beloved creators on Twitch, and is a great streamer, does great content here, but he said he will straight up leave the platform if they force him to run ads. People are very anti-ad, and it makes sense. Now, there are statistics and analytics that show, and I know this because I've actually had an internal discussion with some people over at Twitch. I don't think I'm really leaking anything here. I didn't sign no NDAs or whatever, but what they told me is that through their research and analytics is that when somebody is served a mid-roll ad on Twitch, they're like far less likely to leave than if they were served a pre-roll ad. So what this essentially means is that Twitch is trying to do away with pre-roll ads, meaning when you click on a stream, you won't see an ad. And instead, they're going to try to lock you into that streamer's content for like that 30-minute period or whatever. And then you'll start seeing mid-roll ads. Because from their logic, if somebody is already watching the stream and enjoying it, they're much more likely to sit through that ad if they already like you than if they don't know you, then they may just leave. Is that true? Who knows? I don't got the fucking analytics. I can see from my analytics that my viewership really hasn't changed all too much. All is, pretty much regular and normal. It's not to say I'm sure there's been people that have left. I'm sure there's people that have maybe tried to give my stream a chance and were like, fuck this, I'm not watching no ads, and more power to you. Of course, you can sub to get away from these ads, or you can use Twitch Turbo, which is what I use. I think Twitch is unusable without Twitch Turbo. But then you get into the whole bullshit of like, well, I don't really like the ethics of, creating a problem by serving you these ads and then selling you a solution for $10 a month. I get that too. It is a very troubling scenario. But with all that being said, Twitch is still a better platform to stream on and to watch streams than YouTube is. And there's a large, we can talk about this all day long, but if you're considering streaming on Twitch or streaming on YouTube, you really have to think about what kind of streamer you're going to be. Because the fact of the matter is that a lot of people shit on Twitch for not having discoverability. Very valid. Neither does YouTube. If you want to find live content on YouTube, it's fucking impossible. Like, unless you already watch live stuff, then you might get some live videos in your recommended. But YouTube is a VOD platform first, so they're going to serve you videos, not live content, most likely. And there's no way to even browse live content. If I try to go flip through some live channels, I'm getting a bunch of like random bullshit, right? Like I'll like click on like the most viewed streamers or whatever on YouTube, and I'll get some like random motherfuckers playing like PUBG Mobile or whatever to like 10K viewers. But then like I'll be like, well, is like Dr. Disrespect streaming? I go to Dr. Disrespect streaming, he's right there with 30K. I'm like, why wasn't this shown to me? Like, you know what I mean? Like, browsing for live content on YouTube is fucking atrocious. The viewing experience on YouTube is laughable. It is so dog shit bad. When you look at the landscape of Twitch, when you look at a Twitch live stream, like that invites you to chat. It's more of an experience between the chatter and the streamer, and it just works really well. Whereas on YouTube, it just feels so like disconnected. It's not inducive to a live format. It just does not feel that great. Not to mention everybody in chat has like the same name color, and it just looks, it just does not feel the same as Twitch chat. And that is a big reason why a lot of people stream on Twitch. But one of the biggest reasons why you should still stream on Twitch is because even though they're doing that 70, 30, 50, 50 shit, even though they're doing that ad bullshit, you still stand to make way more money on Twitch as a smaller creator than you do on YouTube. A streamer of my size on YouTube simply could not make the amount of revenue that I'm able to make on Twitch. The only way I think you could supplement that on YouTube is if you're also making a YouTube video content, which you should be doing no matter which platform you stream on. But regardless, this is, very important to supplement some of the income you may be losing off of just your Twitch channel. But you have like the gifted subs on Twitch. You can do gifted subs or gifted members or whatever on YouTube, but there's some restrictions to it. I believe the person gifting members has to be a member themselves. And I think there's some other bullshit around it that it's like more roadblocks to be able to gift members. I think you can only gift people that are in that chat. I could be bullshitting. I could be just completely fucking lying. I don't know. But I know there's some restrictions around gifting members on YouTube. And then, of course, you have Twitch Prime, which is a huge source of income for a lot of streamers. One of the biggest things, too, is that Twitch has cultivated a culture of generosity from the audience. Like, it's expected to, like, ask for subs or to get subs or to get donations or tips or whatever you want to call them. Like, that is expected to like on the culture of Twitch, whereas that culture does not exist on YouTube. What the culture of YouTube is okay, I'm looking for something specific. I want to watch an entertaining video about something and I want it served to me ASAP. I don't really want to think about shit. and then boom, it's right there. You click on it, boom. Now you're watching a video while you're fucking like playing a video game or something like that. Like that is the culture of content on YouTube. So YouTube has to try to get that same culture that Twitch has, where you're subbing and donating and doing all that stuff. And I think that is doable. I think the things that YouTube has to implement to be a better platform and end up surpassing Twitch is way easier to attain than what Twitch would have to change to please everybody. Because if Twitch were to implement changes that would please everybody, the company would bleed out and it would just fucking fail straight up. Full stop. I don't really know what the answer is for Twitch. YouTube, the answers are very clear. If they just fix their UI, add more browsability, discoverability, add more options to monetize your content like Twitch does. And yeah, I don't at current state with Twitch's with the people in charge of Twitch steering Twitch down this path, I simply do not see Twitch lasting very much longer. Probably 5 years max is what my guess would be here. Maybe even less, depending on how quick YouTube can implement these changes. One other thing that I wanted to touch on really quick: anytime Twitch does some fucked up shit, you know, people are like, this is why everybody's leaving Twitch for YouTube. And all I have to say to that is who? Because the only people I've seen leave Twitch for YouTube are people that are being paid a lot of fucking money to do so. Not a lot of people are currently willingly leaving Twitch for YouTube. However, I do see that pendulum starting to swing, and I do see this being a very real thing because Twitch has garnered so much bad favor amongst their user base that I can see this happening.